back. Well, we've just seen a tourism ministry report reveal that 65% of Gauteng's establishments are charging more than 50% above peak season rates for accommodation during the World Cup. And to talk us through some of the trends emerging and implications thereof, Brett Dungan, Chief Executive Officer at FEDHASA, Graham Woods, Southern Sun's Managing Director, and THABISO Tlelai, CEO of the Don Group, join me in studio right now. Thank you all for joining me this afternoon. Brett, I'm going to start off with you initially just for a look at what the Federated Hospitality Association of South Africa's view is on this entire scenario that's playing out. It's certainly not good marketing as we approach the World Cup.
Yeah, I think, Alicia, the big thing is that it's what is perceived out there. These are not the rates that have actually been achieved. And I think that we're going to end up with those statistics with a lot of very expensive and empty rooms. Mm-hmm. I think there's enough accommodation around, and I think that the pricing on a whole is realistic. The excerpt that report comes from also was just saying that the Gauteng region, with the 3 stadiums nearby, is expecting to have a lot more demand than the other regions.
One would question, though, the fact that whether we're seeing these empty rooms come to the fore as a result of these high rates that are being enforced and people possibly pulling back and shying away from coming to South Africa because of exorbitant fees.
Yeah, I think it's a valid point, but we've got a lot of people that are now coming through. We think that the World Cup will be a lot more of a last-minute kind of scenario. Mm-hmm. There has been a lot of planning that's gone into place, and certainly a lot of the international tickets have been sold. But I think that closer to the time we're going to see a lot of realistic pricing out there, and of course the people have choice, and the internet is providing that platform.
Well, let's bring it to you, THABISO, just looking at the kind of demand you're seeing right now as we inch closer and closer to the eventual kickoff.
Well, the demand is bigger in the Sandton CBD with a big number of stadiums around that area. So we're happy with the numbers and the situation we have from a demand point of view. But generally speaking, the cancellations that have been coming through are for the outlying areas out into Port Elizabeth, quite a lot of it in Cape Town area. Mm-hmm. And our concentration is strongly in the Johannesburg CBD, as in Sandton CBD.
Well, of course, we've got the Don Group as just one of the players in this industry. Graham, just looking at the Southern Sun's strategy in this context, I mean, what strategy is the Southern Sun Group working with and employing as we approach the World Cup?
I think, Alicia, you need to break that down into, obviously revenue maximization is key for all of us over this World Cup. But I think there's 2 probably more important objectives. One is to make sure that operationally we deliver a compelling experience to our international guests. And that leads on to the 3rd objective, and that really is to use the World Cup as a platform to create a legacy for our industry and our country going forward. Yeah. And I speak on behalf, I know Brett and THABISO feel the same way, that our responsibilities as players in this industry is to ensure that we deliver a value for money experience. Commensurate with a peak season event. We'll make no bones about it that we will charge rates that are commensurate with the peak season, with a high demand event, but not to a point where the legacy component of our objectives is compromised going forward as a country and as an industry. Yeah,
but well, THABISO, let's look at your view on demand, supply, and just how much pricing power the industry has right now.
Well, you're right. It's a demand-supply situation, and it'll probably kick in different stages of from a timing point of view. As I said to you, the demand is more likely to be higher around the Johannesburg area, with a lot more stadia in the within driving proximity to a lot of the accommodation. What has happened from a pricing point of view, just to put a perspective, is that the major hotels had been in discussions with Match, the ticketing provider of FIFA, for 4 years. Mm-hmm. We've been in discussions, we've gone back and forth. We have addressed all manner of issues that are important both to the country, as in we need to make sure the country is not positions from a pricing point of view into a position that doesn't augur well for the sector of tourism sector, but that we also perform the way we should when these kind of occasion happens in the country.
Yep,
so
because it is an opportunity that we need to leverage off for the longer term. I mean, Brett, we've certainly seen the government reiterate that it would not be setting prices for the industry as a whole. In your opinion, though, should we be seeing a stricter regulation being enforced and some participation, possibly from the competition authorities space, especially so close to the run-up?
Yeah. I think as an association, we're against that. It's about private enterprise, and that's that each business has the ability to do its pricing. If the pricing is not sustainable and unrealistic, people are not going to stay with them. It's as simple as that. So I think that the industry is very good at self-regulating. I think that the communication has been phenomenal. And like THABISO says, we've been very involved with Match from the beginning, and contracting, which was around, had all been equal, had the economic times not turned as they had, all of a sudden the discussions would have been that contracting meant very reasonable pricing for the event.
Of course, what we are seeing play out is free market policies taking effect. I mean, it's only natural that these kind of things come to the fore. Brett, how do we compare when it comes to the pricing of things that happened, let's say, in Athens, which hosted the 2004 Olympics? Surely the same kind of thing played out there as well.
When we did the survey, which the Minister of Tourism had set up, is that the Athens and obviously the World Cup in Germany, we came out very favorably in comparison price-wise. But again, we needed to know that it was around the pricing of what we were expecting and what the hotels were asking, as per the Gauteng 65% additional, not on the actual. The reality of this will be the results post-event, when we can actually say what was achieved by the hotels. And as an industry, we are very comfortable that we have got good value for money pricing at realistic breaks.